Hi everyone, I'm Tanaaz from foreverconscious.com and this is your weekly energy forecast for the week of August 11th. Wow, we have a very big week happening in the cosmic sky. As we get to the end of the week, we're going to also be feeling the Aquarius full moon, but I'll talk more about that full moon next week. I really want to focus on all the other energies that are happening this week because there's a lot at play and maybe you're already feeling it. Maybe you're feeling some intensity. Maybe you're even feeling similar energy that we get when we're entering eclipse season, which happens next month. That idea of change and weird things happening and big things going on with people around you and just everything kind of coming up to the surface for some sort of purging, cleansing. It does feel like a lot of that energy is circling around us right now. And part of this is because of this T-square configuration that we have starting to form, and it will peak and activate this week. We're already feeling it, but the peak day for activation will be around the 13th, and then we're going to be feeling it all up until probably just after that full moon and where it will kind of fade away. So let's talk about what we can expect and what's happening. So we have Mars and Jupiter coming together. Let's just pause with this for a minute. Mars and Jupiter coming together activates and amplifies Mars energy. You can think of Jupiter as a quartz crystal. It amplifies whatever it's around. It magnifies things. And usually when Jupiter is involved, it magnifies the positive more so than, let's say, the negative. It lets us see the silver linings. It lets us see the gifts and the gratitude rather than getting, stuck down in the weeds. Mars is a very active, fiery, a little bit irrational energy, and they're coming together in Gemini. So we think Gemini, we think communication. So this could be a week where we have really productive, really positive conversations. It could also be a week where we have angry, heated conversations, stuff that we have repressed, that we have wanted to say, that we haven't said. A lot of throat chakra activations, things that we have been kind of suppressing or squashing down, especially when it comes to what we communicate, might rise up and come out. We may feel like the time has come where we cannot hold our tongue, where we cannot hold back, and we have to say something. We have to speak up. It might get us into trouble, but that Mars energy is really activating that drive, that desire to speak our truth. And hopefully we can use some of that Jupiter energy to do it with kindness, to do it with compassion, and without some of that heated energy. But we'll see what unfolds. We're only human, and when we have Mars involved, anger can come up, irritability can come up. But how can we use that Jupiter energy to see it as a gift, as a messenger, as, gosh, I'm really angry about this. Why? Let's dig a little bit deeper, because usually under our anger, there's something else that's triggering that anger for us. So this is a big week just with that alignment alone, Mars and Jupiter coming together. It can activate a lot of things around communication, needing to speak up, needing to express ourselves, needing to kind of be firm and clear in what it is that we want. Of course, we have Mercury retrograde, and Mercury retrograde, being also the planet of communication, is not in its prime spot for having difficult conversations. It's in more of an internal place. It wants us to look within. It wants us to go to our inner messenger. It doesn't necessarily want us to speak out into the outer world. It wants us to go in here. But this Mars-Jupiter energy is kind of the opposite. It wants us to speak out here. So we're getting this push-pull dynamic. I would say if there is important conversations or things that are sitting on your chest, work with them internally first, so you don't just blurt them out, so you don't say something you regret, so you don't send that email that you wish you could unsend. Sit with what's bubbling up for you. Get it out on paper. Journaling is going to be our friend this week. really getting out what it is that we have been suppressing, working on the throat chakra. What are you holding onto or holding back? What is something that you wish you could say and share? And maybe it's not appropriate to say and share it, but journal it, write it out. A really, really powerful exercise if you're dealing with wanting to get something off your chest, but you don't feel safe or you don't feel like it's appropriate to tell that person or to say it out loud just yet or ever, is pretend that you're writing that person or that situation a letter. Get it all out. What would you say? And then in a sort of ceremonial way, you can rip up and burn the letter. It's very therapeutic. I've done it before when I've wanted to get something off my chest, but I just felt like it was kind of pointless saying it to the person. We'd already kind of had conversations, been around in circles, wasn't really going anywhere. But I wrote out the letter, and I actually found it brought me a lot of peace when I did that. I didn't give them the letter. Like I said, I ripped it up, and it definitely brought a sense of peace. So that is something that you can maybe try if it feels relevant to what is going on for you. Now, so we have Mars and Jupiter coming together, and then they are squaring, so in a 90-degree angle with Saturn and Venus. Now, the Venus energy, and that's what's forming our T square. The Venus energy, I'm not too worried about it. Venus is a nice energy. Its presence may help to soften things, may help us to be a little bit more creative in our approach, a little bit more compassionate, a little bit softer in our approach. Saturn's presence is what makes all of this really interesting. It's kind of like this is a lesson for us. And with Saturn, we think of, life lessons, being taught something, being led to something that's maybe karmic that we need to clear. Saturn is the lord of karma. So it could be that whatever's coming up for us right now, our need to speak up, our desire to communicate, it could be that it's something we have perhaps not done in our past, and we're being presented with the opportunity to do it now. It could also be something that is incredibly challenging. Saturn can sometimes represent challenges that come up for us where we have to create boundaries or push past some of the boundaries that are no longer working for us. Saturn's presence there is kind of helpful because it can help us to stay grounded and present with ourselves, and then to sort of come back again to that idea of boundaries. Where are my boundaries? Where are the other person's boundaries? Where are the boundaries of this situation, and how can I navigate it? Mars and Jupiter not so concerned with boundaries. So Saturn kind of comes in and creates that kind of container for this energy to exist. So it's not all over the place. So yeah, it's definitely a weird and interesting dynamic. We'll see how it plays out as the week goes along. I would say for our sake, and just in terms of navigating all of this, definitely a time to go within, to reflect on if you have repressed things that you wish you could say to somebody alive, not alive, or to a situation at work, wherever, in your personal life, and maybe journaling on that, getting it out on paper, sitting with it, maybe diving into why you don't feel like you could share, why you feel like you can't communicate part of your truth, maybe even questioning, is this my truth? Sometimes we hold on to things, we hold on to thoughts or ideas, but it's our conditioning. It's not really our truth. So kind of doing that deep dive is going to be a good way to work with this energy. And then if you're confronted with a situation where, you have to speak up, or you get an opportunity to speak up, you've already done the inner work to know what your truth is and to know how you can communicate effectively. And then really leaning into that Venus energy, which calls for us to be in our compassion and be in our kindness. That Mars energy can be more impulsive, more erratic. That Venus comes in and kind of softens that and gives a little gentleness to the process. I also want to talk about something else that's happening in the cosmic skies. And that is, and I don't want to overload or overwhelm, it's going to be an energy that we're working with from now up until eclipse season. So eclipse season activates and peaks next month. The full moon that we have coming up on the 19th, the August 19th full moon, which I'll talk about next week, will be our last full moon. The next full moon we have is a eclipse. So we're heading into eclipse season, and what we're starting to feel building now is this incredible alignment between Black Moon Lilith and Makemake. I want to apologize. In one of my earlier videos when I was talking about Makemake, I pronounced it Makemake because that's kind of how it's spelt, but it's actually Makemake, I've learned. So Black Moon Lilith and Makemake are coming together right on the south node. What does that mean? It means their energy is very, very, very much infused into the energy of the upcoming eclipse cycle. So eclipses always represent transformation, and having the presence of Makemake and Black Moon Lilith is going to amplify that transformation. Something is going to be burnt. Something is up for a rebirth. Black Moon Lilith is sort of the destruction. It is the fire. Makemake is a little bit more what we're building after that, this more peaceful sanctuary, this more peaceful, creative place. If you want to learn more and dive more into this Black Moon Lilith and Makemake energy, I wrote an article about it. I'll drop a link in the description box below. You can check it out at foreverconscious.com. Essentially, just what you kind of need to know is that the winds of transformation are flowing in. We have this T-square, which is very active this week and into next week. We're going to get up to that Aquarius full moon, which offers a lot of wild card energy. The planet Uranus is very, very active under that full moon. It's stirring up, it's planting the seeds of change. And then leading us into the eclipses of September and October, we're getting this big, strong rebirth energy. So I imagine that for all of us where we're sitting right now, there's probably going to be a lot of changes and growth and awakening and maybe even a little bit upheaval. And when we get to October/November, something is going to have shifted for us. So we're going to be in a different place. I don't want that to sound ominous. It sounds a little ominous, but you have to remember that we are all here to work with these energies at these time for our highest growth. We are growing, we are moving, we are not stagnant beings, we are evolving. And the cosmic energies of the next few months are showing us that we are here to work with, to nourish, to nurture, and evolve along with these energies. So a couple of big months ahead, and we're just laying the groundwork for it now, sort of starting this week. I'll be there to guide you through every week through this amazing transformative energies that we have playing out. Remember, Jupiter, which is very, very active this week, always guides us to look at the silver linings, always guides us to think on the positive side, and always guides us to focus on the gratitude. I'm now going to pull a card from my deck, which is something that I have been doing since I created my own Cosmic Astrology Oracle deck. There are still some available. You can get them on Etsy. I'm just going to shuffle up the cards. I know I kind of gave you a lot of info, but I imagine it's probably nothing that you aren't already feeling. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Is there people, are we feeling the intensity? I feel like I have. We're all in different stages, in different places in our evolution. Remember, we have the cosmic energy, but how we experience it is how it filters through our own being. And that's where our experiences can be different. This card wants to come out. Ooh, Fomalhaut, the loneliest star. So Fomalhaut, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, but is one of the 4 royal stars, and it's called the loneliest star because it seems to kind of sit in its little corner of the universe all by itself. It's like there's it's the brightest star, and so it just kind of looks like it's there in the sky by itself. So it's called the loneliest star, which sounds kind of sad, but it's not. So I'm just going to read a little bit from the booklet here. Fomalhaut is one of the four royal stars. It lights up a corner of the night sky seemingly all by itself, which is why it has earned the title of being the loneliest star. It stands out, yet stands alone. Fomalhaut's energy can indicate the need to withdraw or go within. So interesting, because we just spoke about that being kind of like our superpower for this week. You may wish to sit in silence or journal, exactly like I said, to uncover your deepest thoughts and feelings. Who are you when no one is watching? Who are you when you are alone? Fomalhaut wants us to peel back the layers and connect with more of our true, authentic self. Fomalhaut is also believed to be a gateway between this world and the next. Drawing this card indicates a need to return to yourself. It is also a sign that you are walking the bridge between ending a chapter and beginning a new one. This is kind of exactly encapsulates the essence of the energy of this week. Couldn't get more perfect. This can be a lonely yet highly creative space. Take some time to be in solitude and listen to your own thoughts and feelings. Grieve for what is past, but create some space to get excited about the coming new beginnings. Fomalhaut is a very powerful and special card, yes it is, that reminds us all things are temporary. Use it as a reminder to spend more time with you. That is just the perfect card for our week ahead. So if you have this deck at home, you may wish to go ahead and read Fomalhaut, it's number 45. Read it again, sit with some of those questions, maybe journal on those questions, have it somewhere that you can see it, kind of work with its energy and see how it kind of evolves over the course of the week. You can find more on the full moon, the Makemake and Black Moon Lilith stuff that I mentioned, and you can also go to your August astrology forecast. I talk about that T-square in there as well. All of that is at foreverconscious.com. And I think I already said this, but if you want to get a deck, your own deck, check them out. They're on my Etsy store. I'll drop a link in the description box below. All right, you all have a wonderful week. It's a big week. Look after yourselves. I'll see you next week. I'm Tanaaz from foreverconscious.com. Thank you so much.